Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're literally mapping out the world. We're going to identify people, places, and things by breaking down some absolutely essential building blocks of the English language. We'll be taking a really close look at the mechanical patterns behind he, she, and it, so you can make your conversational English significantly sharper. We've got some brilliantly clear source material today to help you lock these patterns into your memory for good. So let's just jump right in.
Here's our quick roadmap for today. 1. Meet he, she, and it. 2. Mastering everyday contractions. 3. Asking the right questions. 4. The short answer rules. And finally, 5. Putting it into practice.
Okay, let's dive straight into section 1. Meet he, she, and it, the basics of be.
So think about our core subjects, he, she, and it. There's an incredibly reliable pattern here. In the positive form, these three always, and I mean always, pair with is, which we often just shorten to an apostrophe s. So you get, he is a doctor, or she is from Germany, or it is in South Africa. It's like a perfectly fitted puzzle piece. But if we flip that to a negative, the verb just changes to is not, or the super common isn't, like he isn't right. This is your foundation. He, she, and it demand the verb is. If you can just visualize that simple rule, you've already won half the battle.
Now here's a specific, crucial rule that honestly trips people up all the time. When we talk about what someone does for a living, their profession, we don't just state the job title. We absolutely must use the verb be plus the article or an right before the job. So we don't say, he is doctor. No way. We say, he is a doctor, she is a nurse, or he is an actor. Notice that an before actor? That's just because actor starts with a vowel sound. Whether someone is a waiter, a customer, a teacher, or a student, the pattern is exactly the same. That little article acts like a bridge between the verb and the profession. You just can't forget to cross the bridge.
Moving right along to section 2, mastering everyday contractions, speaking naturally.
Well, here is the crucial difference between sounding like a textbook and sounding like a real person. In a formal essay or a strict business email, you'd use the full structure. He is not, she is. But in everyday spoken English, we use a shortcut. We squish the words together. He is not becomes he isn't. She his merges into she's. And of course, it is becomes its. Our source text specifically highlights that using these contractions in informal writing and speaking is exactly what makes your English sound natural, rhythmic, and just conversational. Trust me, the contraction is your best friend for sounding fluent.
All right, let's see how this builds in section 3, asking the right questions. Subject-verb swap.
Now, turning a statement into a question is probably the biggest stumbling block for beginners, but it's actually incredibly simple once it clicks. Think of a standard statement, subject plus verb. She is a student, right? To make that a question, we just do a magic little flip. You simply swap the positions of the subject and the verb. So she is mechanically flips to become is she? Is she a student? This inversion is literally the entire secret to question building. You grab the verb and you just yank it right to the front.
And the beauty of this flip is that it works flawlessly whether you're asking a simple yes or no question or if you're asking a where question. For a yes-no question, you just start with that verb. Is he in Mexico? But what if you need more details, like a location? Easy. You just stick your question word right at the very front of the whole thing. Where is he from? The core structure, that flipped is he, doesn't change at all. It's such an elegant system.
Which brings us to section 4, the short answer rules, answering efficiently.
You know, in casual conversation, we rarely repeat a whole sentence back when someone asks us a simple yes or no question. If someone asks, is she from Spain? Saying, yes, she is from Spain is just, well, it's clunky. Instead, we use a concise 3-part format. We say yes, then the subject, she, then the verb, is. Yes, she is. If it's negative, no, she isn't. It's a quick, punchy formula that confirms the facts instantly.
But actually, hang on, pause for a second, because there is a massive trap here that catches almost everyone out. You absolutely cannot use contractions in positive short answers. If someone asks, is it from Mexico? You have to reply with the separate words, yes, it is. You absolutely must not say, yes, it's. The English ear expects the stress to land fully on that final word, is, and you can't do that if you've chopped it in half. Now, if the answer is negative, contractions are totally fine. No, it isn't, works perfectly. So, the golden rule, no contractions in positive short answers.
Let's wrap it all together in section 5, putting it into practice, a global journey. Okay, let's take our new tools on a little trip.
Think about the amazing diversity of locations on a map. Places like St. Petersburg in Russia, Tripoli in Libya, or Buenos Aires in Argentina. Between massive global cities, famous people, and huge international corporations, this is the perfect way to test how well we can deploy he, she, and it.
Let's pull a real exercise directly from our source material. Here's your first challenge. Where is Shakira from? Think about the rules we just went over. Shakira is a woman, so our subject pronoun is obviously going to be she. And since we want to sound natural and informal, we need to use a contraction with the verb is. So, how would you build that answer?
Spot on. She's from Colombia. See how simple and brilliant that is? We took she is, squeezed it into the informal contraction she's, and then just added the location.
Let's try another one from the exercises. This time, it's a yes-no format about a non-human entity. Is Toyota from China? Well, Toyota is a company. It's a singular thing, so we can't use he or she, we have to use it. And factually, Toyota is not from China. So we're going to need a negative short answer, followed up by a factual correction. How does that sound?
Exactly. No, it isn't. It's from Japan. Look at how beautifully that structures the conversation. We use the negative contraction perfectly for the short answer. No, it isn't. And then we drop the positive statement right after to correct the facts. It's from Japan. That contracted it's is doing some heavy lifting to keep the sentence flowing. This two-sentence combo is just a staple in daily conversation.
Let's do one more high-energy one to really lock this all in. Is Emma Watson from the USA? We've got our flipped verb and subject, is Emma Watson. She's a female actor, so we use she, and the factual answer here is no. So one last time, construct that short, punchy negative answer and follow it up with the correction.
Boom! No, she isn't. She's from the UK. Honestly, you have completely mastered this. You used the negative short answer with the isn't contraction and immediately provided the correction using the positive contraction, she's. By following these patterns, you're building and answering questions with total precision. You should be super proud. You've successfully mapped the world with he, she, and it today. But before we go, I want to leave you with a question to chew on. We conquered the third-person singular today, but how do you think all of these rules, the contractions, those tricky little verb flips, how is that all going to change when we eventually start talking about you, we, and they? Keep that in the back of your mind, because that is your next great leap in mastering English grammar. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer today. Keep practicing, keep spotting those patterns, and I'll catch you next time.